You have been lied to, not by an enemy, not by a stranger, by every person who ever told you that if you work hard enough, people will believe in you. They will not. Not until the proof is already standing in front of them. And by then, you will not need their belief anymore. A 2023 global study found that 85% of people feel busy every single day, but only 3% feel they are actually moving forward. Same hours, same effort, completely different results. And the difference has nothing to do with talent, nothing to do with luck, nothing to do with where you started. Today I am breaking down the exact patterns that separate the 3% from everyone else. Everyone talks about working hard, work harder, hustle more, sleep less. And people do. They follow the advice. They put in the hours. They show up, but something does not add up. Research shows that the average person makes 35,000 decisions every single day, and 95% of those decisions are made by the subconscious mind. That means you are not consciously directing most of your life. Your habits are directing it. Your old beliefs are directing it. Your past experiences are directing it. And no amount of surface-level effort can override a program running silently underneath everything you do. So if you have ever felt like you are working hard, but getting nowhere, you are not lazy. You are not weak. You are just running on an outdated program that nobody ever taught you how to update. There is a first shift that happens in people who eventually win. It does not look dramatic. It does not feel like a breakthrough. It is quiet, almost invisible. It is the moment they stop performing growth and start protecting it. Studies on behavioral change show that people who share their goals publicly are 33% less likely to achieve them because the brain receives the reward before the work is done. The announcement feels like the achievement. The dopamine hits early, and the drive to actually do the thing quietly disappears. Think about someone you know who always talks about what they are going to do, the business they are going to start, the body they are going to build. Still waiting, still planning, still talking. Now think about someone else entirely. Someone who went quiet. Someone who stopped posting, stopped explaining, stopped asking for opinions. They disappeared for a stretch of time. And then they came back, completely different, calmer, clearer, further ahead than anyone expected. Not because they had more talent, but because they understood that the work and the announcement cannot exist in the same space at the same time. You have to choose one. Going quiet feels wrong because we are wired for validation. When you stop explaining yourself, stop seeking approval, stop broadcasting your plans, your brain reads that as danger. It whispers, "Nobody sees me. Nobody believes in me. Maybe they are right." And this is the exact moment most people crack. Not because they were not capable, but because the silence felt unbearable. But here is what almost nobody tells you. A 2022 study on high performers found that the most successful people report feeling most alone during their peak building years. Not after they arrived, during. The isolation you feel when you are building something real is not a warning sign. It is a signal that something genuine is forming underneath the surface. The people who survive that silence do something very specific. They stop feeding their progress to other people for approval. And they start collecting evidence for themselves. Not motivation, not inspiration, evidence. Every day they choose the work, they add one small proof to a record that only they can see. I showed up today when I did not want to. That is a proof. I did not quit when nothing seemed to be working. That is a proof. And over time, slowly, quietly, invisibly, these proofs stack into something no outside opinion can shake. Psychologist Angela Duckworth spent years studying thousands of high achievers. The single factor that predicted long-term success above talent, above intelligence, above opportunity, was grit. Consistent, quiet, unglamorous grit. Not the loud kind. The kind that happens when you are exhausted and you do it anyway. The kind that has no audience and needs none. At some point, every person who builds something real makes a choice. To stop living their life as a performance for other people and to start living it as a construction. Project for themselves. That sounds obvious. It is not obvious when you are living it, because from the very first day of your life, you are measured through other people's reactions. Good behavior earns approval. Achievement earns approval. The wiring goes deep. So deep that when someone doubts your dream, it reaches all the way down into a lifetime of conditioning that says, if they do not believe it, maybe it is not real. Think about a woman who spent 40 years as a teacher in a small town. No viral moment, no public recognition, no highlight reel, but a quiet, unshakable sense of having built something real. Something that changed lives she will never fully know about. Now think about someone spending those same 40 years chasing every trend, every shortcut, every fast path to being seen, announcing every move, measuring their worth in numbers that reset every single day. Both are working, only one is building. The doubt you feel, that quiet, persistent sense that you are behind, that everyone else has figured something out that you have not, is not a personal failure. It is a direct consequence of the environment you are living in. The average person is exposed to over 10,000 curated highlight reels from other people's lives every single day. Your grandparents compared themselves to maybe 150 people across their entire lives. You compare yourself to thousands before you finish your morning coffee. And every single one of those comparisons is filtered, edited. Nobody posts the year nothing worked. Nobody posts the thram panic. They post the result, the transformation, the win. And you are watching the win and comparing it to your middle, to your messy, unfinished, still in progress middle. That was never a fair comparison. Most people are not stuck because they lack information. Right now, you have access to more information than any human being in the entire history of civilization. And still, most people stay exactly where they are year after year. Because the problem was never information. The problem is identity. What you believe about who you are at the deepest level determines every decision you make before your conscious mind even gets involved. If somewhere underneath everything you believe that you are the kind of person things do not fully work out for, no strategy will fix that. No morning routine. No productivity system. This is why people lose the weight and gain it back, why they build momentum and then quietly sabotage it, why they get close, genuinely close, and then find a reason to stop. Not because they are weak, because their identity did not update to match their results. The real work is the slow, uncomfortable, deeply personal work of deciding at the level of who you are that you are someone who finishes. There is a moment that comes for every person who has ever chased something real. It comes when you have already left the comfort of where you were, but you have not yet arrived at where you are going. You are in the middle, the unglamorous, unposted, unwitnessed middle. And in that middle, the voices of every person who ever doubted you get louder. This is the valley. And the valley is where most stories end. Not because the person was not capable, but because the valley is lonely in a way that is very hard to describe to someone who has not been there. Quitting starts to feel reasonable. Logical, even. But here is the truth about the valley that nobody tells you while you are in it. The valley is not the end of the story. The valley is the story. Every person you have ever admired went through a version of it. Theirs just did not make the highlight reel either. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are in the chapter that does not get posted. The one that is too real, too slow, too honest for a highlight reel. But it is the most important chapter. The one that determines every chapter that follows. Stop measuring your progress against someone else's visible arrival. Start measuring it against who you were yesterday. That single shift, applied every day without exception, will change the entire trajectory of how you see yourself and what you believe is possible for you. And I want to leave you with one question, not to answer right now, just to carry with you. If you knew with absolute certainty that the work you are doing right now would take you exactly where you want to go, but that nobody would ever see the journey, nobody would validate the process, and nobody would believe in it until it was already done, would you still choose it?